Greg. And Greg, thanks for taking the time out. Greg, you had mentioned to me that through the service, you had been able to meet other CPAs, accountants, other professionals that you otherwise didn't even know existed and filled a void in your marketing portfolio, so to speak. Can you just comment about that?
Well, the first thing is that I actually grew up in the area that I practice, and it was pretty it was pretty amazing to me how quickly I realized that there's a lot of people out there that I didn't even know exist. So just the fact that through my own efforts, I was able to meet some accountants and attorneys, but the service has introduced me to, 5 times more than that. And again, a lot of these people I didn't even know existed or were in the community. So from that standpoint alone, you kind of feel like you're getting exposed to more. You're getting more. You're being exposed to more resources, more people, more potential, because you're finding people that aren't in your current line of vision, let's say. And then also too, I think I practice as a sole practitioner right now. I'm still working on building a team and a staff, things of that nature. All I have to do is show up at the meeting and have a business meeting.
Great. That's great. Thank you for that. What would your comment be about the quality of the meetings? Give me a feeling about the majority of the meetings that you've been on. Number one, the quality of the meetings, and number two, the potential that can come as a result of these relationships.
I would say that every professional that I've met is dealing with affluent clients. So in terms of in terms of how the meetings have gone, one thing I've really learned a lot about how other professionals view the referral relationship. And frankly, it's been a strong learning experience as for what, I think, what I feel that brings them interest, as opposed to what I thought brings them interest, prior to me going through the service. So at the very minimum, I learned a lot about how other professionals think about their own services, about the service that I provide, and how they view networking in general. So it's been a real good learning experience from that perspective. And in terms of potential for my practice, I think that me, I'm gonna I plan on being in business probably for another 25 to 30 years, and again, I think any of these people, if they want to develop a casual referral relationship, I'm not going anywhere. So down the line, I'm sure that if they remember me when a situation comes up, it'll be there'll be a potential for business there. But once I'm able to follow up more, and once I'm able to to really get to know people a little bit better than just one meeting, I think there is a lot of potential there. I think you always have the same. I have the same challenge with other professionals as I do with clients, and that's how do they view the value of financial planning in their life, in their client's life, and again, that takes time to build up the same amount of understanding and passion that I have around it than maybe another professional who really is just another human being. So it takes a little bit of time, but at least the beginning. The introduction has been made. I know where to find these people now. I can now follow up with them in a professional manner because we've met face to face, we've talked, and again, as long as I'm still in business, I think the payback or the return on investment, you can't really quantify that as long as you're still engaged in the whole process.
Well, I will say very quickly that one of the things that I preach about advisors and marketing themselves in their practice is the ability to incorporate Eat for Life marketing strategies. And so I love what you just said because, as you know, I'm all about Eat for Life and being able to count on a steady flow of referrals and new business and reputation. You talk so much about penetrating your market, when you first started the call. So you're really echoing all of my thoughts and the sentiment behind putting a program like this into place for yourself in your practice, in your city or town. So great. Is there anything that I didn't ask you or anything that you'd like to say that I didn't give you a chance to say?
I have a lot of different, I'm always happy to give feedback. I think that, for me, I've always felt that this has been a void. We're always taught, and everything we read is about networking with other professionals and how do you go about meeting them and things like that. And the reality is that I really don't know too many advisors that I work with locally that have a steady flow of referrals from either an accountant or an attorney. So I felt that this was something that had to start, and it took me probably 11 years before I was able to do it. And again, I think what's great about it is I've been able to implement it in my practice to where it's not a deterrent on my practice from an administrative perspective. And I'm probably going to have a database of between 25 to 35 other professionals that that knows who I am, who I can market to, who I can keep in touch with, who whenever there's positive things in my practice I can reach out to. Whereas I never had that before. And then then you kind of got to like Deepak Chopra says, you got to let it go a little bit and hope that it comes back to you. So, but at least I have the basis of some sort of activity that I can build off of. Whereas in the past, when I tried to meet accountants, that never really turned into anything. So at least this can turn into something because of how it was started, and and really having a lot of activity in a short period of time. Now you can build off of that.
Well, great. Thanks so much for taking the time out of what I now know is a busy schedule and coming on board and sharing your thoughts. So
okay.
Thanks so much.
You got it.